all in all, I had to basically just trust in God and give the situation to Him because I wasn't aware or wasn't ready mentally, physically, emotionally to get married. I just decided to do it because at that time I felt like it was the best decision. That's my honesty. I thought it was the best decision, and it turned out to be the best decision that I ever made in my life. Marriage is a beautiful thing. So I don't take it back. I don't regret getting married at 20. I don't regret having a kid before marriage because my life wouldn't be where it is today if those things didn't happen, and I'm happy that those things happened. Hey, what's up, tribe? It's Neil.
And Diamond.
And this is the Heaven Child Podcast. This is a Christian podcast where we encourage people to build a stronger and more personal relationship with God.
Mm-hmm. And please, if you haven't done so already, like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you want to see more content like this.
Go ahead.
Today is part 5 of our series of Committed in Marriage Bible verses.
Part 5.
But today we are going to talk a little bit more about my husband's book. Was marriage right for me?
Mm-hmm.
And chapter 2, the title and the scripture.
Let's do it. Let's just do it.
All right, so we're going to talk about what that means in his book. Just a little bit.
Go ahead.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Great. Good to hear. So, our first question. The second chapter of your book is titled, Let's Just Do It.
All right.
What you mean by that? What you talking about, Willis?
The title Let's Just Do It came about because it's not about sex. It was about me deciding just to get married. A lot of times I feel like people don't really want to just get married, or they feel like they got to be in the right position to get married. And in my opinion, now looking back at it, now I can share some information. You don't have to wait because it really ain't never going to be a perfect time to get married. It really isn't. I was in a situation where I was having a kid. People around us were saying that we needed to get married. So that kind of weighed heavy on me. I took some advice from some pretty important people like my pastor, my mom, my wife's dad. So I just jumped off the porch and did it. Even though some people didn't agree with it. I just did it because I knew for me, I love the person that I was with.
Okay, so let me ask you about these trusting adults that you referred to.
Mm-hmm.
What did they say? Like, what was their opinions about you getting married? What did your pastor say? What did your mom say?
So when we first found out we was having a kid, I went to my mom, and she was excited and nervous for me, which any mother would be for a son. But I didn't really express the initial, I'm going to get married to her. She told me that in order for my wife to move in, because that was my original question, like, can Diamond move in with us so that we could take care of our kids? She said, no, not in her house, no shacking. So that propelled me to think about the idea, okay, well, maybe we should get married and make it right with God. Then I talked to Pastor Damon, which was my pastor at the time, and my wife's pastor. And we let him know that we was having a kid, and he explained to us that, the best thing for us to do, his advice, would be to get married and make things right with God. So that was another person that said get married. My wife's dad, he was like, well, he can't move in this house unless y'all married. So I decided, based on what I wanted, the best thing for me to do was to get married.
Okay, so we hear that the adults in your family, your mom, your pastor, was on board about you getting married, and they kind of helped you form this decision.
Right.
What'd your friends say?
Well, the friends my close friends that I hung around, they were happy that, I was about to have a kid, but when I talked about I'm thinking about just getting married, and they was like, what? You getting married? You only 20 years old. Why you getting married, bro? It's like, that don't even make sense. To them, it did not make any sense to get married just because I was having a kid. That was their mentality. Now, if I had listened to them, I wouldn't be where I am today. Married for 12 years, 3 beautiful kids, and doing well for myself. So I did make the right choice by not listening to the people that questioned why I was doing it. I never really questioned it. I just believed that it was something that I should do based on the people that I cared about the most. And looking back on it, like I said, it was a very, very good decision to get married.
So you have your opinions from family. Now you have your opinions from your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Now for yourself, do you believe that you was ready to get married?
Me personally, I don't feel like you will ever be ready to get married. I don't think that people understand marriage is never perfect. It's never a perfect time, a perfect moment. You make a decision to do it and you do it and you go with it. You stick with it. Planning marriages aren't great. It's gonna be stress. Being in a marriage is gonna be stress. It is never a perfect moment. People got in their minds like, oh, I'm gonna marry a man, he's gonna propose to me, he's gonna be this height, he's gonna have this job, or this woman's gonna be this bad, and she's gonna be independent. It's never gonna line up like that. People change over time. So even if they're that way now, they're not gonna be that way a couple years from now. Like, I was not ready to be married. I grew into being the man that I am today over time. I was a young-minded man. I was a Christian, but I wasn't the best Christian, all right? And my wife knew that, and she decided still to get married with me, and we grew together over time. So you will never be ready to be married. You will never be ready.
All right, to end this off, you have the scripture, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding.
Right.
In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths.
Right.
Proverbs 3:5-6.
Mm-hmm.
How does that scripture speak to you in your marriage, and why you decided to put that in the let's just do it chapter?
All in all, I had to basically just trust in God and give the situation to him, because I wasn't aware or wasn't ready mentally, physically, emotionally to get married. I just decided to do it because at that time I felt like it was the best decision. That's my honesty. I thought it was the best decision, and it turned out to be the best decision that I ever made in my life. Marriage is a beautiful thing. So I don't take it back. I don't regret getting married at 20. I don't regret having a kid before marriage, because my life wouldn't be where it is today if those things didn't happen, and I'm happy that those things happened. Now, the scripture just really displays that you really have to put your trust in him, and when you do that and you don't lean or think about your own understanding or try to figure it out on your own, then he gonna step in and he gonna make it easy for you. So
All right, Neil, that's all the questions that I had. I can't wait to get your book.
yeah,
Read chapter
make
2.
sure y'all go get that book, and then stay tuned, because my wife has her own version of marriage and what she thinks about marriage too. So y'all make sure y'all check out the next video, episode 6. Episode 6. All right, stay tuned.